The message behind Surrounded, wow. Okay, I've shared with you guys the Dear Diaries of how I came back into doing singing again. Well, I actually wrote Surrounded, believe it or not, in 2018. I know, it's like 2 years ago, right? So it was 15th of February to be exact. And like I said, it was a season where I just had been going through so much, and I was hearing so many opinions of myself, music, my character. There was a situation that literally took place that just basically, I didn't do anything wrong, but I just ended up being at the mercy of opinions. Let's just put it that way. And I remember saying to God, I want to talk, I want to defend myself. Anyone who knows me, like, I don't like indirects. I don't like just the stuff that sometimes happens on social media. And I just felt like it was time for me to speak up and defend myself. And I'll never forget, God literally said, say nothing, hold your peace. And then even my dad had reiterated, don't talk, we're not saying nothing. And I was fuming, like, I was angry, because I was like, God, I felt like it was happening again. And when I say again, because when I went through my abuse and I went through a public trial, again, newspapers had said stuff that was incorrect, even though we ended up suing them, but people were saying stuff, and I felt like I had no control over my character, my name. And there's nothing worse than having your name being dragged through the mud, especially when you know you ain't done nothing wrong, you live an integral life and whatnot. So I was devastated in this situation, because like, this is the second time something like this has happened to me. And to hold my peace and to be told to hold my peace was so hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. In that space, I started to write a song, which I didn't know was gonna be a song. If I'll be honest with you, Surrounded was never supposed to be a song. And I know some people are like, I'm so glad it is a song, but it was never supposed to be a song. It was never meant to even reach your ears. It was for me. I was ministering to Juanita. Juanita was broken, Juanita was hurt. Juanita didn't understand why God was allowing things to happen. And I remember reading literally Psalms 27 and also in Exodus, which you guys heard in the song. And I was thinking about how the Israelites literally were leaving Egypt at the mercy of a word, right? And they're about to go over into this promised land, over the Jordan, into the promised land. And literally Pharaoh starts coming after them. And I started to think about what was their minds think, like, man, we should have never left Egypt in the first place, or I should have never done this. And I felt I could for once relate to feeling like you literally feel surrounded by the enemy. And I remember in that moment, I started to cry at the piano. I'm going to try and do this without crying today while talking about it. But I started to cry at the piano, and I was like, Lord, I trust you. Even when I can't trace you, hold my hand and go before me. I started to feel literally a peace that started to come over me as I was singing that. Because that's what I was like, God, I don't get it. Like, I don't see you in this. I don't understand how this is beneficial. This is, your name is all you got, man, you know? So like, why is this happening to me? And so I started to say this, Lord, I trust you when I can't trace you, when I don't even see how this is panning out. Hold my hand and go before me. And if you think about hold my hand and go before me, it's a bit weird, because it's like, how does someone hold your hand and go before you? But I started thinking about, you know, as a child and someone is leading you somewhere, I literally was like, God, we can't lead my life together. You have to do this. And I started to think about, and this is what God said to me while I was in this moment. When I don't know if you remember in school days, you would trace pictures and stuff, and you'd have tracing paper and it helped you trace the picture. One day, the tracing paper in the tracing paper tray ran out at school, and I had to try and trace the picture with a normal piece of paper, and it was hard. I couldn't barely see it. And I remember the Lord said to me, Claire, he said, if you can trust tracing paper in school days, you could trust the tracing paper to see the image, to draw it out, and to trust that it was going to come out perfectly. Why can't you trust me? And I was like, it hit different. He was like, trust me that when you come out of this, it's going to be better. Trust me that when you come out of this, I will restore your name. Trust me. And I literally just watched God, that in the space of where I was emotionally, when I was writing that song, even in the midst of all the things that were being said, all the things that were being done, God was just literally still opening doors, still elevating me, and almost in a sense making anything that was said look like a lie anyway, because it was like, well, if Juanita's so bad, or Juanita's this, or she's that, God is certainly opening some doors, opening some avenues to, and I didn't even see it like that in the moment, because in that moment I was just broken, I was hurt. And I watched God literally just order my steps, do exactly what he said, literally hold my hand and go before me. And the verse really didn't come until later. It was a progression of just worship time with him, and I'd come back to this moment, I'd start crying again, and I'll start singing that song. And then I remember I was reading Psalm 27, and I started to read, the Lord is my light, whom should I fear? Whom should I be afraid of when you are here? In the time of trouble, you will hide me. And that's when I started to write. The next bit that I wrote, before I even wrote the verse actually, was you are the pillar of cloud by day, guiding my way. You are a pillar of fire by night, giving sight. And I literally kept singing that over and over again, like over and over again, encouraging myself, like, you are the pillar of cloud by day. And I kept saying it until I literally started to believe it, because I realized that the Israelites, that's all they had. They didn't even have the Holy Spirit them days. Like, they only had this pillar of cloud, literally, and a pillar of fire. And the Bible says that in the latter part of that verse, it literally separated them from the Israelites. In fact, although it was leading the way for them and being a light and a source for them, it actually caused a flame of fire to consume the Israelites. And so I was like, wow, like, you are these things. And so what came to me was that even though I feel surrounded, I am surrounded by you. And so that was the message that I believe God ministered to my spirit. And it was crazy because even when I first sang it, I sang it at a little brunch thing with my mum's women's conference that year, I think it was, and I didn't even get through it. I cried the whole song. It was so terrible. Like, it was terrible. I cried the entire song. And everyone was like, oh my God, I can't wait for you to put it out. And I was like, I'm not putting this song out. Like, this is just because my mum asked me to do it, and that's it. And I never sang it again. And I didn't sing it again to All Out Worship. And I was so sick. And I was really mad because I was like, I don't like introducing a new song when I'm not well. I was really had a bad chest infection. In fact, my doctor was like, I don't even know how you did an event, because when he heard my lungs and everything, it was just not in a good condition. I was on antibiotics after that event. And I remember I sang the song. I literally didn't even do the verse. That's how sick I was. I was like, I just need to get it because I feel so much pain right now. I need to sing this song and get off the stage. And so I literally sang like, you are the pillar of cloud by day. And people just started to gravitate to it. And then I was like, I'm surrounded, though a host encamps against me, your word has gone before me. I'm surrounded, you have surrounded me. And we literally cycled that bit. I'm surrounded, you have surrounded. And like, to hear everyone singing it, and they had only heard it once. Like, I didn't even sing it like loads of the way through. And everyone was like, oh my God, that song. And literally, that's how you've got this song, because everyone has been asking me from January 2020 till now. That's how we got the song. That's how it became an actual song, because I felt pressure. No, seriously, every day. If I had £1 for every person that asked me where that song was coming. And to be honest, that's what compelled people to give. So that's the message behind Surrounded.